For every successful apology that was accepted by fans, there are ones that were rejected and created even more drama for the creator, starting with James Charles delivering one of the worst apologies known in YouTube history. James Charles faced serious accusations in 2019 and again in 2021, related to inappropriate messaging with underage fans. The controversy started with a public feud between James and fellow YouTuber Tati Westbrook, but it grew beyond that as the inappropriate messages and accusations started to surface. In early 2021, multiple individuals came forward claiming that James had engaged in inappropriate conversations with them online, some of which were underage. In response, James Charles released a video titled "Holding Myself Accountable," in which he admitted to some of the accusations.
First and foremost, I need to say sorry. I owe a massive apology to anybody that I've hurt or anybody that I've made uncomfortable with my actions.
Acknowledging that he had communicated with people who turned out to be underage and explained that he didn't verify the ages of these individuals properly, attributing this oversight to a lack of research on his part.
These conversations should have never happened, point blank period. I trusted the information that was given to me rather than the information I could have and should have gotten myself. Doing research into these people's public social media profiles would have revealed their true ages, and therefore these conversations would have never happened in the first place, but I didn't do the research, and that is what is so embarrassing.
Throughout the whole now deleted apology, it was clear that although James did admit to his mistake, it didn't look like he was taking accountability at all, but was constantly trying to shift the blame by suggesting that he was being misled by the individual's ages. This apology also came after another one titled "An Open Conversation" and a second one titled "No More Lies" that were both horribly done and widely rejected. The comments on one of the apology videos perfectly explains how the online world reacted, making fun of the situation. Teachers trying to explain why the bell doesn't dismiss them. Ariana Grande explaining why she doesn't actually have no tears left to cry. Adele explaining how she can't actually set fire to the rain. Although James's apology made his career much harder to maintain, PewDiePie, however, didn't find it hard to recover from his infamous bridge scene, and his apology, which is still considered one of the best, was widely accepted by his fans and most people moved on. Still, the best apology video I've ever seen. No fake crying, no dumb excuses, is mature, owned up, didn't ignore it. That right there is a king. While streaming PUBG, PewDiePie calls another player the N-word in the heat of the moment.
What a fucking jeez, oh my god, what the fuck?
Given PewDiePie's massive audience, that moment was quickly clipped, shared, and circulated on social media. The incident worsened because PewDiePie had already been involved in a major controversy earlier that year. But just 2 days later, Felix uploads an apology titled "My Response." The video was short, straight to the point, and seemed really sincere just from the way he was talking, being a normal person that did a mistake and now he's genuinely sorry.
It was something that I said in the heat of the moment. I said the worst word I could possibly think of, and it just sort of slipped out.
He admitted that he made a mistake, admitted it was stupid on his part, and he didn't learn anything from years of being a YouTuber and watching people mess up.
Whenever I go online and I hear other players use the same kind of language that I did, I always find it extremely immature and stupid, and I hate how I now personally fed into that part of gaming as well.
He then ended the video saying he will do better and he knows he's better. And the audience did take his apology sincerely and accepted that he's just a normal person that made a mistake and apologized. Finally, an apology video that isn't 80% breathing, takes 2 minutes to talk every sentence, 1 hour long. Pewds should be a teacher for apology videos. Now this is how you do an apology. Of course, there were people that didn't forgive him, mainly saying that if someone said it in the heat of the moment, this means it's a common word that they use. But the PUBG bridge incident became a pivotal moment in PewDiePie's career, marking a shift where he became more cautious with his content. Best part is the fact that unlike other people saying they will better themselves, he actually did become a better person. But we can't say the same for Neon, whose apology did not redeem what he did at all. In fact, it made the whole thing even worse. On a Kick livestream, Neon invited a 10-year-old kid to speak, but the words that came out of the kid's mouth prompted one of the worst things Neon would say to a 10-year-old, live in front of thousands and eventually millions to see.
I'll beat the shit out of you and your fat girlfriend, bro. What the fuck? That fat slut. I'll smack her in her face too, bitch.
After the 10-year-old insulted Neon and his girlfriend, while also obviously trying to lure him into an argument just to get a viral clip, Neon responded by threatening to dox and sexually assault him.
Hey, pussy, I'll give you Miami.
I don't give a fuck. You're 10 years old. I will fuck you in the ass until you fucking bleed, bitch. I swear to God. Shut the fuck up, bitch.
The backlash was immediate. People online thought Neon's response was a clear sign of his immaturity and inability to control his temper. Even though the kid did step over the line and started this whole thing, the fact that Neon fell into the trap and responded the way that he did led to an immediate ban from Kick mistake. Neon then released an apology video, which was way less than what people would expect from such a horrendous act.
What's going on, guys? I wanted to sit here and genuinely talk to you guys about what's been going on these past few days and really recap and apologize for everything that I've done and the mistakes I've made.
He stated that he didn't know what he was thinking. He let a kid into his head, and when he started talking crazy, he blacked out and didn't realize what he was doing.
I let a kid get in my head, and when he talked crazy to me, I blacked out and I didn't realize what I was doing, and I want to sincerely apologize. I'm not that type of guy. I'm not that type of person.
This dude really gave a single-minute-long apology, learned the difference between mistake and made the decision to do something multiple times. No excuses. You need to grow up and be held responsible for your actions. Stop saying that you black out. Stop the BS. It gets old. And many believe that the apology was made just for the Kick team so they can unban him. The kid did have an encounter with Neon at a later date.
Apologize! Apologize! Apologize!
It is clear that even the kid isn't that well behaved and needs to learn some more manners. Adding more to that, Neon kept on behaving inappropriately, got into many controversies, and his rash and immature behavior continued on to many future events, which completely dissolves every word said in the apology. Unlike KSI, who was a great example of how to learn from a mistake and become better. Now KSI isn't an angel in the YouTube world, but this incident and the way he handled the backlash showed his true intentions and is actually considered a decent apology. In April of 2023, Sidemen uploaded a video on their YouTube channel playing a game where they would assemble words from various letters to gain points. In the countdown style game, KSI created the word PAKI, a racial slur that offended many people, and naturally, the clip went viral. PAKI is a derogatory ethnic slur originating from the UK, and it has also been directed at people of other South Asian backgrounds. In response, KSI issued a public apology on April 3, 2023. He expressed heartfelt regret and acknowledged the hurt his words caused. KSI also announced a break from social media. He then released a video where he sat down to read a statement about the incident. He apologized, took responsibility, and stated that he has been in talks with many people from the Southeast Asian community to further educate himself and understand the communities that were affected by his words.
I want to take this opportunity to offer my deepest and most sincere apologies for my words and actions. There were no excuses for what I said, and I recognize I've caused a lot of hurt and disappointment to so many people that look up to me.
Many people praise KSI for taking accountability and apologizing for what he did, especially since the word he used is not widely popular, and the majority of people don't really know what it means or that it is offensive to some people, yet he still chose to publicly apologize. As a Muslim and Pakistani, we want nothing in return. You stood up and owned up to it. That's enough. The Sidemen Collective also issued a statement apologizing for the incident and emphasizing their commitment to learning from the mistake, since they were also seen laughing in the clip. KSI was able to bounce back from this incident and learn to be better, but what happened to Linus Tech Tips made everyone angry at the situation, but even more at the apology that was released. On June 24, 2023, Linus Tech Tips released his normal hardware review video taking a look at a PC copper cooler sent by a company called Billet Labs. But his review was far from what the company expected of him. The summary of Linus's review was that the product is just bad.
But the experience of building with it is a nightmare, and the advantages over literally any other solution are negligible. I think that there are very few buyers for it.
The product was a special prototype meant to be used on a specific GPU, a 3090, but in the video, they used a 4090, which is incompatible, and even though they acknowledged that in the review itself, they still based their opinion on the experiment they did. This was the first thing that sparked a debate within the online community, as well as Billet Labs themselves. Great video, guys, but this block was specifically for a 3090, not a 4090. But what made things even worse was what happened after. The product that was given to Linus by Billet Labs was a unique special prototype to be tested, then returned to the company, but Linus instead decided to auction it off, selling the only prototype available for Billet Labs. This was what drove the whole situation and the tech audience to lose respect for Linus and the main LTT company, who in their right mind would test this on the wrong GPU, bash the company, and then sold the prototype even though owners of it asked twice to return it to them. Billet Labs' issue need to be addressed, misrepresenting them and then auctioning their product. This is hideous. But almost 2 months later, the LTT company decided to finally address the situation and release a video titled, "What Do We Do Now?" The video immediately starts with the CEO of the company, after moving to 9 other LTT employees before finishing off with Linus himself, the person who should have been the one starting the video, considering he's the face of the brand and everyone is familiar with him. But throughout the apology, the LTT company acknowledged the mistake they did, announced they are doing a restructuring within the company to deal with credibility issues, transparency in the reviews, and announced a halt in production to reassess everything. The apology seemed everything you don't expect from a YouTube channel. Even though everyone knows Linus Tech Tips is part of a larger corporate company, they still expect a somewhat down-to-earth communication style and a more authentic video. The newly hired CEO was clearly reading off of a teleprompter. The video was initially monetized, and the original review video is still live on their channel, even after admitting it was a mistake. This video feels like a commercial selling an apology. This is what happens when one guy's channel grows into a corporation. Too many moving parts, too many potential points of failure. And on top of it all, this apology video just comes off as sterile and obligatory. I'd rather just watch smaller channels without all this baggage than trust a corporation to be better.
LTTstore.com. What? Somebody had to say it.
For Linus, he lost his way within the fast-paced YouTube world and the corporate greed, but MatPat, on the other hand, apologized for something he didn't even need to apologize for. On June of 2022, MatPat shared a video on the Game Theorist channel where he discussed a theory involving the Five Nights at Freddy's books having a scrapped alternate reality game. The video was discussing a theory, but fans on the other hand took the theory to heart and they started to demand answers by calling businesses and employees at their workplace. MatPat decided to take accountability and released a video apology titled "Stop the Five Nights at Freddy's Ark Hunt." He apologized for any disturbance or harm he has caused anyone affected by all of this, and even urged his fans to stop calling people and following a theory he just proposed.
I never wanted or intended anyone to bother real people, and it's never ever acceptable to harass an individual or a place of business. Period. End of story. To those business owners, those members of the community, individuals who may have felt harassed or burdened by this, I am sorry. I am so sorry. It was never my intention to cause issues for people or businesses. And again, to the loyal theorists watching this video, stop. Cannot make that clear enough. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but this is not the way to do things. It is never acceptable to call someone or their place of business to look for lore in a video game.
And then ended the video by saying they will put a clear set of guidelines on every alternate reality game video that people should know and follow. The fact that MatPat stepped forward, addressed the issue, apologized for it, and took it upon himself to make sure it doesn't happen again shows a great deal of both maturity and responsibility. I'm sure this video alone will help many new ARK players in the future, so thank you, MatPat. People love that he took the matter in his own hands to stop his fans causing any more trouble and ended it before it got out of hand and hurt even more people. But Colleen's apology, on the other hand, is, well, unique to say the least. This is widely known as one of the worst apologies in the history of YouTube, addressing the issues surrounding her being accused of grooming underage fans. It all started in April of 2020 when Adam McIntyre, a content creator and a fan of Colleen, uploaded a video titled "Colleen Ballinger, Stop Lying," accusing her of putting her in uncomfortable situations when he was underage, as well as sending him lingeries.
Me and Colleen started talking on a more personal level, and by 2017 we were good friends. This information was always really hard to hear and digest as a 13 to 14 year old. I was sent, okay, and then I hate touching it. Then these, I don't know which way they go, but these as well.
Colleen uploaded a normal apology video addressing the situation, admitting her mistake, saying it was completely stupid and she should have never sent that. She also continued to state that it was a big joke within the fandom. She ends the video by promising that she will continue to learn as a human being, admitting her mistake and sincerely apologizing. And the video was meant with positive feedback. This is an apology. She doesn't deny, she actually says sorry. Yes, this is how you apologize. No crying, and she's admitting her wrong without bringing others in it. I love this. Things settled for some time, but in 2023, even more clips of her acting inappropriately in front of children, allegations about her grooming more underage fans started to flood the internet, which prompted Colleen to release yet another apology video that ended up going down in YouTube history as one of the worst ever. The video, titled "Hi," is a 10-minute long apology in which Colleen is singing on a ukulele. All aboard the toxic gossip train, tracking down the tracks of misinformation. This was the first line of this song.
Hey, it's been a while since you saw my face. I haven't been doing so great, so I took a little break. So a lot of people are saying some things about me that aren't quite true. Doesn't matter if it's true though, just as long as it's entertaining to you.
She never apologized, took responsibility or accountability, and the whole video is basically her dismissing the allegations as gossip, misinformation, and toxic, using sarcastic and dismissive language all throughout the video. And the public response was clear. the video was not what anybody expected. This can't be real. This is so insulting to the victims. This is the wildest thing I've ever seen on this app. Her apology is now in YouTube history forever and became a meme for a long time. Just like this image, the infamous Logan Paul Japan Forest image that was one of Logan's biggest controversies to date. This man is no stranger to problems and allegations. He's been in and out of many problems throughout his career, but the Japan incident was the one that started it all. But contrary to what the majority of the public opinion thinks, this apology could be considered as one of the better apologies and perfectly represents Logan Paul. The Japan Forest incident is a well-known story and everyone knows what happened. The incident became public news for a period of time, and even YouTube got involved with demonetizing Logan's channels, and all brands got ties with him. He then releases an apology video in a hotel room in a setting that feels authentic and straight to the point, talking to the camera.
I've made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment, and I don't expect to be forgiven. I'm simply here to apologize.
Many people believe this to be one of the worst apologies, but if you think about it, what he did was such a bad thing that no matter what style of apology or word he said could make things better. He chose to do what he can do best, record a video apologizing for what he did and taking accountability. He was a kid with a huge platform that allowed the attention game and chase for views blind him into doing something horrible. And after the apology video, he uploaded a documentary raising awareness regarding the topic, showing him talking with many experts and guiding his viewers on how they can deal with the situation. He did a stupid thing, but this was an incredible apology. Not a fan of Logan, but I respect him for being so mature about his apology and actually trying to make a difference. He did, however, do many more mistakes and severe lapse in his judgment over the following years, but that, well, is a topic for a whole other video. But until then, don't forget to subscribe.